What's up, YouTube? This is Sean. I'm back again, and I've been gone for a minute, but that's because I've been hiding in a cave working on my Iron Man suit. Yeah, you get it? Because Tony Stark built his first Iron Man suit in the cave. But anyhow, in this video, we are going to be working on Iron Man Mark IV, and we're just going to be focusing on the upper chest and the back area. Because Iron Man is such a complicated build, I had to break it down into 5 different videos, and it might even be 6. Who knows? We'll see when we get there. Now, as you can tell, I've already started cutting out all my pieces, and this part right here is my upper trap strap area. I'm cutting it out in an outward angle, which is going to end up being glued on top of other pieces, which you'll see here in a little bit when I start to put all this together. Now here's a shot of all the pieces. Not too bad. Once you look at it, it's like only 2 or 3 pieces with other pieces too. Now I'm drawing some lines right here because I'm going to glue that upper trap strap right on top of these pieces right here, and it's going to sit on top just like that. When I glue it all down, you'll see where I'm going with this. But I went ahead and started applying glue to all my pieces. And as for this little pie area right here, I went and folded it so I can get my glue into the small tight areas. And I'm applying glue on top of this piece right here because that's where my top of the trap strap piece is gonna go. And this is the top trap strap piece that's gonna go on top of that one. Now I'm going to draw some lines here because I want to make some undercuts, because I want to have this particular piece bevel in just a little bit. It kind of saves me in cutting additional pieces, and it also gives it a really cool effect and a nicer, cleaner seam line. Now when you make your V-groove undercuts, you want to make sure you don't cut all the way through. I like to just go in maybe a quarter way through the foam and then move out just a little bit and cut it in an angle and then pull out the axis, and then eventually you're going to end up with something that looks like this. Now I'm going to just assemble one side since I've already did the other side off camera, but it's basically the same. I'm going to start off by attaching the lower back piece to the back side area, and I'm going to close up that little gap right there and push in all my undercuts and make sure everything is nice and glued together. You should have something that looks like this. And then I'm gonna proceed to my trap strap area and make sure all my undercuts are pressed in together nice and neatly. And then I'm gonna end up with a lower strap in that's got a really cool bevel look to it. And I always got to make sure all my pieces are nice and glued together, because last thing I want is all my pieces falling apart because I didn't double check it. Now I'm going to take my upper trap strap area and I'm going to carefully align it along that line that I drew a while ago. And I'm going to get it started on the bottom half, and then I'm going to move over to the front and then carefully apply pressure along the way, because one piece is actually longer than the other, and when it's bent like that, that kind of happens, you know what I'm saying? So far so groovy, and I am just about done with one half of my back piece. I'm going to glue this one really long strip together. I originally had it as one long piece on my template, but then I went ahead and cut it down into 2 pieces because it was just way too long for the material that I was cutting off of. So it kind of helped me save on material. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it started from one end and the other end, and then carefully align my pieces together, making sure that I get it as clean as possible, because once I start getting all sloppy, that means I gotta go back and sand it, and I don't like really sanding, but I'm gonna have to go back and sand down the edges anyways, just to give it a cleaner look. Now that I have both my pieces assembled, it's time to attach these 2 big pieces together with this center spinal piece. I'm gonna carefully align it. I did cut it in an inward angle, that way when I glue it together it will have a certain flair to it. I want to make sure that I get everything lined up nice and neatly because the last thing I want to do is mess this up. But if you ever get this far into a project and you accidentally glue something together, you didn't mean to, you can always take it apart with some contact cement thinner. Just apply it with some syringe and it'll slowly come apart. But yeah, so far this is what my back piece is looking like, and I'm really starting to dig it. Hope you're digging it too. Now let's move along to the front piece. Yes, it may look really tedious, but once you get everything together, it doesn't look so bad. Now I'm going to start off by attaching the lower front piece just like that. I did cut some piece in an inward angle. Now it doesn't really matter which side you cut in an inward angle, as long as one side is cut with an inward angle. That way when you glue them together, you'll have this beveled look. Now I'm going to move along to the upper chest piece, which is the center right here, which is like the famous arc reactor thingy. Now I did cut the centerpiece in an inward angle. That way I can have the beveled look, and one of these pieces had an inward cut too. So yeah, you don't want to cut two inward angles and glue them together. Then you're gonna have a more I guess more corner, a harder edge, which is not what we're looking for. Now that I got all the upper chest piece glued together, it's time to attach that to the lower of the chest piece, and things are finally starting to come together. See, I told you it wasn't that bad. Now that I got both pieces put together, it's time to attach these two pieces in the center. I'm going to use the surface of my table to make sure my seams are nice and clean. And once you have everything put together, it should look something like this. I'm really starting to dig it. And now it's time to attach these two collar pieces together and then glue that onto the rest of the chest piece. And it should look something like that. Now I'm going to fill in the center with this flat arc reactor. And you're probably thinking, Sean, that doesn't even look like an arc reactor. It looks like a plain piece of foam. Well, I'm going to put some light in there. Don't worry. I'm saving this for another tutorial. Right now we're just going to put everything together, and I'll do the electronics later. Alright, so now that I got my front piece and my back piece all put together, it's time to attach these two together. I'm going to apply some contact cement on the inside of the chest piece. This is the upper part. Now I'm going to put some Velcro on here so that way I can adjust it, make it a little bit longer for taller people or shorter for shorter people. Or maybe one person's wearing it and you know, you go to the convention and you just had a fat belly burger and you need to make the suit a little bit bigger, because you know that does happen. And you're probably thinking, well, fat belly burger doesn't even exist in our world, let alone Iron Man's world. But come on, y'all, let's just play along with this. All right, I'm gonna use some scrap foam to fill in some of these space right here, and I'm gonna apply some contact cement, which I'm going to glue some strap pieces on there, which you'll see here in a little bit. But right now I'm working on the side strap area, and I'm going to glue that on the outside of one side, whereas the other side I'm just going to glue it directly to the back piece. Now if you're building one and you're like, well, maybe I want the other side to adjust too, well, that's up to you. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's your cosplay. But as for my cosplay, I'm going to go ahead and glue Velcro on one side and glue the other side directly together. Unless you're planning on building like a Mark 6, Mark 8, Mark 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever chest piece, and you want to continue using the back piece, then you're going to want to be able to remove the front piece entirely. And Velcro is the way to go, I guess. Now that I have both my side pieces fastened down to each other, I can go and attach the strap area. Now I've already got my Velcro glued to the foam, and I'm going to align them up the best that I can. And then once I get everything as even as possible, I'm going to take the upper strap area and then glue it down. Now you're going to want to make sure you get everything as close to perfect as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because remember, it's just cosplay, bro. Well, alrighty guys, I am pretty much done with the upper chest and the back piece of my Iron Man Mark IV build. And be sure to check out my other videos where I work on the ab and the cod piece. I even have the arms done and the legs done. So check the links in the description down below, or at the end of this video I'll be leaving some links to those videos. And if you're interested in building your own Iron Man cosplay, then check the links in the description down below. I mean, if that is what you're into. I mean, if that's what you're really into. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and make sure you guys follow me on all my social network. Like me on my Facebook, follow me on my Instagram, and be sure to hit that like button if you felt like you got something out of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed, because I'm pretty awesome. Kinda. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video.